Welcome to Reread. Today I'm reviewing a novel by James S.A. Corey called Honor Among Thieves. Everyone knows this was the last expanded universe novel to come out, and on my first review I remember I told everyone I used to read it one chapter a day because I didn't want it to end because I knew it was going to be the last one. This time it almost took me just as long, only because I've been so busy and I've only had to read a few chapters here and there. Now the chapters are really easy. They're like 8 pages each. I mean, in a way, it's kind of a really quick read. Another reason why it's a really smooth read, and I still enjoy this book, I think it's really good, but it reads like 5 issues from a comic book story. Like, here's one story, and now here's the next story that connects to this one, and the next one that connects to this one. Let me tell you, first off, it starts off where Han Solo gets put on a mission by Leia to find Scarlet Hawk. Now, I like Scarlet. I've already talked about that in my initial review. I still like her. I think she's witty and sassy, and she doesn't come off as annoying at all. She's got some spunk, as the kids say. The kids don't say that anymore, but that's his mission, to find her. So that's like the first 50 or so pages. When he finally finds her, now he's going to rescue her, get her off this planet, but she says, hey, you need to help me steal some data that's very important. So they do. And so that's another like 30, 60 pages of an adventure. And then that adventure ends, and they're like, okay, well, now there's a super weapon out there, and this guy called Hunter Moss, he knows about it. So we need to get to Hunter Moss and get the information from him. Hunter Moss is a very interesting character. He's kind of a swashbuckling pirate who thinks a lot of himself, but he doesn't wear a shirt. He wears a cape, tight leather pants, and he has his gut sticking out, a little bit of a gut sticking out. It is a perfect picture of a, pompous pirate, space pirate or so, whatever he's supposed to be, but it's great. Anyway, that story is done after a few, maybe 50 pages, and he's killed off. Well, now they got to go after someone called Galassian. Now, Galassian was mentioned earlier on in the book, but he's not really a character until toward the end. So it's almost like the Hunter Moss story is over. Now it's the Galassian story. So then they track down Galassian. They track down the super weapon. He knows how to control it. He threatens them. He dies too. And then, end scene. Now it's time for the next comic book. What happens? Well, now the Empire's trying to get in where Han, Scarlet, and Leia are now all trapped, and they're trying to escape, plus not let the Empire take control of this weapon. And Han blows up the whole planet to stop the weapon. The weapon is that it can stop anyone from going into hyperspace, so it's really powerful. And they don't really explain that much outside of that, except they tell you how important that would be. So they blow it up so that the rebellion or the Empire can't get it and then move on to the next adventure. But like I said, each story doesn't really have an arc. It just says, here's the story here, end. Now now in the next issue, here's their next adventure that they take on together. I'm not saying that that's bad, but it almost feels like this is 5 short stories from the Adventure Journal or from some magazine. It's weird that this is all put together in a novel. I mean, it comes together and it reads smoothly. Like I said, 8 pages and you've got a chapter down. So you're like, ooh, I feel accomplished and everything. And there's a lot of humor in this. Scarlet Hawk and Han, they bicker and they get along really well, and there's a lot of times that I laughed at this. One of my favorite ones wasn't even Scarlet Hawk, it was Leia and Han, because, we're missing out on that Leia and Han, chemistry there. So it's been Han and Scarlet for a long time. But when Leia comes in, Han says, we got to go and do this. She went, that. She's like, wow, you're a smuggler and you keep surprising me, or something like that. And then he says, well, because we're doing it because there may be some treasure there too. She went, that's the Han I know, and that's just good stuff. Later on, when he tries to convince Leia, we've got to blow it up, she went, okay, let's blow it. And Han goes, oh, I'm so happy to hear you say that. And she looks at him and goes, like, what? And he goes, you already set it to destruct? He went, yeah, we need to go. Remember that button Scarlet told me not to push? I pushed it like a long time ago. We need to hurry. I was going to blow it up anyway. I love that. I love that humor. There is a bounty hunter, a Bothan bounty hunter named Bassin, who is trying to collect the bounty from Jabba the Hutt on Han. Han convinces him to team up, and then later on, Bassin basically saves the day in a short while. He gets shot by trying to save the team. And he was doing it for money, but when he dies, and I totally forgot he died in this, But Scarlett goes, so, so in the end, he was a good guy. And Han goes, no, he wasn't. And Leia goes, well, he was a friend. And then Han says, he hadn't been a friend for a long time. Han is not missing Bassin, which I thought was great, because Bassin even kept saying, Solo, I want you to know, if this doesn't work out, I am going to shoot you. I am going to kill you, because Jabba said dead or alive. So just to make sure, we're not friends. We knew each other a long time ago, but we haven't been friends in years. And Han just tells it like it is. It's not some, oh, he had a heart of gold at the end. And it's not that type of story. That is great stuff. There is a lot of good moments in here it's fun all the way through. It is a fun book to read. I stand beside that. I mean, not one of my top 10 anytime soon, but a top 30? Definitely, I think. I think it's in the upper crust of the Expanded Universe novels. I'm glad, because rereading it, I thought, are my memories is a little bit jaded because, well, that's not the right word. I don't know. Am I looking at it through rose-colored glasses, I should say, because it was the last EU book and I wanted to love it. And so rereading it, I went, is this going to be just as good? And yes, I think it is. It's an enjoyable read. It is worth your time. But seeing that James S.A. Corey is two different authors, it makes sense that each took turns telling a story, because I can tell you exactly where it stops and starts. But other than that, it's a really good book. All right, folks, that's it for now. See you next time.